Hey friend, welcome back to Prophetic Breakthrough for Christian Women. I'm your host, Amy Wadlington, Christian life coach, mom, and your go-to for real talk about faith, mindset, and stepping boldly into your God-given calling. I'm so glad that you're here today. If you have ever said, I want to trust God, but I keep doubting, or maybe, who am I to do this thing that He's called me to do? Today's episode is for you. We're talking about how to trust God when you have doubt and imposter syndrome without overcomplicating everything. Because if you've ever felt like you were supposed to have more faith, or that maybe you're disappointing God by struggling to believe, I want to bring you back to truth today. Do you want to step into the calling God gave you and dream big again with Him, but feel stuck, buried in doubt, and constantly pulled under by the chaos of everyday life? Hey, I'm Amy, Christian life coach, girl mom, and wilderness season survivor. I help women gain confidence in their calling through spirit-led coaching and prophetic insight, because that's what finally changed everything for me. If you're ready for the confidence to move forward so you can get unstuck, grab a pen and some paper, silence the what's for dinner mental loop, and pop in those earbuds. Let's go. Before we jump in today, let's be honest. You're tired. Tired of overthinking, tired of feeling like you're missing God's plan, tired of praying for clarity, but still spinning in circles. You wake up with good intentions, but go to bed frustrated that nothing has actually changed. You've read the books, listened to the sermons, bought the courses, tried to trust God more, and yet you still feel stuck. Friend, the truth is you don't need more information. You need transformation. And that's exactly what happens inside your Next Step Breakthrough Coaching Calls. In one powerful hour, we'll discover together what's been keeping you stuck and identify one step that will finally move you forward with peace, clarity, and confidence. No more circling the same mountain, no more wondering if you're broken. You just need your next step, and I can help you find it. Book your call today at amywadlington.com/coaching. Okay, let's jump in. I remember what it felt like to doubt God and myself at the same time. When He called me into entrepreneurship, into the marketplace as a prophet, I did not feel qualified at all, not even close. I had already had 2 failed businesses. Every time I tried something new, it either didn't work or I burned myself trying to make it work in my own strength. And I remember praying over and over again, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. Just like that father in Mark 9 who cried out to Jesus for his child. I doubted God, I doubted myself, and honestly, I felt like maybe I'd missed it. Like maybe I wasn't really hearing from God at all, or I was hearing Him wrong. But here's what I learned. If God called you to something that feels impossible, it's actually confirmation that you're in the right place. If it's something that you can do on your own, He wouldn't need to be in it. He is the God of the impossible, and He will get the glory when it works out. Not you, not me. So if you've been struggling with doubt or feeling unqualified, I want to share 3 truths with you that will help you trust God again and stop overcomplicating everything, especially your faith in the process. Lesson number 1 is grow your faith. Look for evidence of God's faithfulness. We often hear that we need faith the size of a mustard seed, but that's not actually what Jesus said. He said to have faith like a mustard seed. There's a big difference. Jesus often told His disciples, you of little faith. So clearly, small faith is not the goal. Faith like a mustard seed is living, growing, and expanding. A mustard seed starts small, yes, but it doesn't stay small. It grows deep, strong roots and eventually becomes one of the largest plants in the garden. It spreads, it multiplies, and it overtakes everything around it. That's what your faith is supposed to do. But here's the thing. Faith doesn't grow just by thinking about it. It grows through action. You have to plant the seed. Your faith is cultivated when you move, even when you're scared, even when you don't see the outcome. And if you're struggling with doubt, don't try to force more faith. Instead, start by looking for evidence of God's faithfulness in your life. You can ask yourself, where has God shown up for me before? What has He brought me through that I once thought was impossible? Where can I see his hand in the details? If you can't see his hand in your life, look at creation. Look at the world around you. God's hand is on everything. He created the world. Because when you start looking for evidence of his love, his goodness, and his faithfulness, your faith naturally grows. Its roots get deeper in truth. It starts to multiply. Faith, like a mustard seed, doesn't mean believing perfectly. It means believing enough to act. So what is one area that you can take a small obedient step today? Not because you have all the answers, but because you trust the one who does. So once your faith starts growing, even if it's still messy and uncertain, the next question is, what do I do with it? How do I move forward from belief to action when I still don't feel qualified or ready? Let's look at someone who did exactly that, the woman who reached out and touched the hem of Jesus' garment. Lesson 2 is your faith made you well, the woman who touched Jesus' hem. This woman did not overthink it. She didn't need a plan. She didn't need perfect prayer. She didn't need to read any books or take any courses. She simply said, if I can just touch the hem of his garment, I'll be healed. After years of suffering, rejection, and disappointment, she took one small, brave step of faith. And Jesus said, daughter, your faith has made you well. Not your perfection, not your performance, your faith. She acted on what she knew, not what she didn't. And that one moment changed everything. Maybe your healing, clarity, or your breakthrough isn't waiting on more certainty. Maybe it's waiting on one small act of faith. What would happen if you stopped waiting to feel ready and just reached out like she did? And sometimes it's not that we don't want to take the step forward, it's that we don't feel qualified to. We start thinking, sure, God can use her, but not me. That's where imposter syndrome sneaks in. And it's exactly what we see in the story of Gideon. Gideon is one of my favorite examples of someone who wrestled with imposter syndrome. So lesson 3 is Gideon and imposter syndrome. When God called him a mighty warrior, Gideon's response was basically, who, me? My clan is the weakest, and I'm the least in my family. He had a list of reasons why he couldn't possibly be the one God would choose. But God wasn't looking for qualifications. He was looking for obedience. And the same is true for you. God called Gideon before he ever did anything courageous. He spoke identity over him before he ever stepped into action. So if you've been saying, who am I to do this? God is saying, who are you not to when I'm the one who called you? Okay, so a couple of things that you can do to reflect is, where have you been arguing with God like Gideon did? And what would shift if you started agreeing with what God says about you instead? So maybe today you see a little bit of yourself in each of these stories, the growing faith of the mustard seed, the bold reach of the woman who touched Jesus' hem, and the hesitant obedience of Gideon. Each one of them shows us that faith isn't about perfection. It's about movement, action, moving forward and taking one step. Okay, let's recap. Number 1, grow your faith. Look for evidence of God's faithfulness and take action on what you already know. Number 2, your faith will make you well. Your healing and your breakthrough are often one brave step away. And number 3, Gideon's story. Stop disqualifying yourself from what God already qualified you for. Faith isn't about never doubting. It's about trusting God enough to move, even when you still have questions and doubts. When you stop overcomplicating faith and start acting on it, that's when your breakthrough starts to happen. Friend, if you've been saying, I just need more belief, more faith, I just need to know what to do next, this is for you. In a Your Next Step breakthrough coaching call, I will help you clear the mental clutter, identify the patterns holding you back, and discover the one step that you can take right now to move forward with peace and confidence. This is your moment to stop second guessing and finally step into breakthrough. Head over to amywadlington.com/coaching to book your call and to take your next step towards your calling. Until next time. That's it for today, friend. I pray that this episode blessed you or stretched you in all the right ways. If it did, would you please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts? It truly lights me up to know that this show is helping you, and your reviews help other women find the clarity that they've been praying for. All right, go clean off that pile of laundry from the treadmill or the chair or whatever piece of furniture it's currently living on, and I'll see you back here soon for another episode. Bye for now.